So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roma Theory, as today we're going to be discussing about Matic renewal, and we're also going to discuss about the top priority this summer regarding our goalkeeper and our next goalkeeper, and how all of the paths, all of Thiago Pinto's paths and Mourinho's paths too, are linking towards Vicario from Empoli. I remember we mentioned Vicario already. I rate him a lot. I really hope we get him, and these are the few things we're going to discuss today. But first, as you probably know, we are supported by Global Giving. And as you probably know, two powerful earthquakes struck Turkey and Syria on February the 6th, killing more than 46,000 people and injuring thousands more. The death toll is anticipated to grow significantly, with millions of survivors urgently needing help. Global Giving is one of the most reliable and trustworthy charities in the world. They have a 4-star rating, and they nearly have a perfect score from Charity Navigator due to their commitment, stability, efficiency, sustainability, and commitment to transparency. Your donation will be used to provide food, clean water, medicine to survivors, shelter, temporary housing, provide psychosocial and mental health support to survivors, support economic relief efforts, and long-term recovery efforts too. So if you want to donate, feel free to click the first link in the description below or scan the QR code right here next to me. And yeah, right, where do we start? Let's start with Vicario, right? Because Vicario is a top priority this summer. Vicario is a massive priority, and first thing which I'll say is that I would pay to get Vicario. I rate him a lot. I rate the guy because he plays in a team which is fighting to not get relegated, and is basically their savior. Empoli this season, if it wasn't for their goalkeeper, they'd be down there. They'd be down there fighting with Cremonese, Sampdoria, and all of these teams. So that proves to them and to everyone who's interested in Vicario that he's capable of saving. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what a goalkeeper needs to do. Now, a lot of teams are interested in him, but why are we speaking about him today? We're speaking about him today because apparently the competition has been reduced a bit. There are a few teams which have pulled away from the race to sign Vicario, one of them being Juventus. Juventus have retained that Vicario is not one of their top priorities anymore, that they would rather spend their money and investment on other players. But I think the Juventus situation, I mean, obviously I'm not here to speak about Juventus if anyone's new here, but I understand and I can see why Juventus have withdrew themselves from this race. They could still re-enter it, but sources are saying that apparently they've withdrawn from it. I can see this because Juventus have to be careful this summer with all of the scandals they've been going through. They have to be careful with the amount of money they spend, and that also means that they, yes, have to get good players, but they can't spend thousands because they've seen what happens if they don't respect the rules. Massive point deduction. So maybe they've understood that he's a great goalkeeper. We would have 100% wanted to buy him, but unfortunately, due to our financial situation, we're not ready to spend the money. I think it's inevitable that Empoli will ask quite a lot of money because he's been their savior. Empoli are losing their best player. Their best player is their goalkeeper. It's like us losing Dybala. So they are going to ask a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they're Empoli. So they can't ask too much money because they know that. Because for a club like Empoli, and the way the the lower financially stable sides in the Italian league work, how it works is that you basically can't reject offers. This is another reason of why Serie A poor clubs are so backwards in compared to Premier League side clubs, because the clubs like Empoli, right, really can't say no to an offer. Because let's say they ask 20 million for Vicario and we offer 20 million for Vicario, there is no chance they're going to say no. So the second you satisfy their demands, they have to say yes, because getting those 20 million euros for them is like winning the league. No, obviously not. But it basically saves them the season because of all the depths that these teams have. So it's one of these deals where the problem is not the club asking the money. The problem is the competition. A few clubs, such as Juventus, have withdrawn from the race. This doesn't mean that we're the only ones in it. In fact, we're not, not only Serie A clubs are interested in signing Vicario. Bayern Munich are interested in Vicario. And I think, look, another massive reason of why we should get this guy is because if other clubs, big clubs like Bayern Munich, who are interested in, confirmed by Romano, other big clubs, Inter Milan and our league are interested in him. If a lot of these clubs are interested in the guy, it means that he's a good guy. Because if other teams with better scouting department, and I'm not trying to say that Vicario's new to everyone. Whoever signs Vicario has 100% grabbed a good goalkeeper, and we've seen him play. It's not like we don't know who he is. But the second bigger clubs are interested in him, it really means that he's a great goalkeeper. And you look at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are interested in him. They've got Neuer and Sommer. Why would they want Vicario? Why would they replace Neuer with Vicario? That means he's a top-class goalkeeper. But we have to anticipate them. We have to anticipate Bayern Munich. We have to anticipate Inter Milan. And this is what Thiago Pinto is currently working on. Thiago Pinto is working on this. Obviously, again, taking into consideration all of the FFP rules and all of that, one of the biggest priorities this summer is getting Vicario. And the second we get Vicario, we shift Rui Patricio's second goalkeeper. And that's already a massive step up. Already, by buying Vicario and shifting Rui Patricio to second goalkeeper, you're telling Mourinho, the ownership is telling Mourinho, third year's the one. We're fighting for the league. And because Rui Patricio's not great. But I think it's very unfair to say that Rui Patricio's dreadful. Because Rui Patricio isn't dreadful. Rui Patricio is a bang average goalkeeper. But I'd rather have Rui Patricio than the likes of Milan's second goalkeeper, or even the likes of some first goalkeepers. I think Rui Patricio is way better than Andanovic, for example, who plays for Milan. I think Rui Patricio is better than the Lazio goalkeeper. He's a bang average goalkeeper, and I'm not trying to say he's world class, but he's not dreadful. And the second you shift him to second position, I think you're in with a great deal. Because again, Svilor really doesn't convince me. And I think Svilor really doesn't convince the ownership too, including Mourinho. I think Svilor's been one of those signings which we gambled. We spent we didn't even spend much money on, and it just went how it went. He's young, don't get me wrong, but the few minutes I've seen him play, and they were in friendly games, but the few minutes I've seen him play were dreadful. Like, speaking about dreadful goalkeepers, the few minutes I've seen Svilor play were dreadful. That's what dreadful means. He's young. Give him time. He could be shifted to third position. He will grab experience from both Rui Patricio and Vicario. But if we're in for a treat in the last season, if we're in for trying to compete for the league, then with Vicario and Rui Patricio, I think you're in with a deal. I think you've got one of the best goalkeeper departments in the league, if that's what happens. But obviously we have to sign him, and nothing's done yet. That's definitely what I'm trying to say. Right, let me quickly charge this. Nothing's done, but we're working on. Valid option. I would love Vicario, and I've said this in many of the 5 players Roma would buy videos. 5 players Roma need to buy videos. So definitely a valid option. I would definitely 100% go for him. Before speaking about Matic and Matic renewal, let's quickly check what people say, because I put a poll on. Let's see if Vicario convinces other people too. Let's see. So yeah, majority says yes, get him, and I agree with those 83%. Right, ladies and gentlemen, before speaking of Matic, I invite you to smash the like button down below. Everyone in the stream, take 2 seconds to smash that like button. It supports me a lot. It's free of cost, and yeah, so please do it if you're new here. Rui Patricio was class last season. This season, not too. The thing with Rui Patricio is, I just feel like this season he's less secure of himself, Because you look at Rui Patricio, which played that Conference League final, and wow, like he saved absolutely everything in that game. But then I don't know, you just look at him and he's less confident, which is also controversial because our defense is way better. Like just in 2023, our defense conceded had 5 clean sheets. That's something great. You know, in 2023, 5 clean sheets at home were one of the best defenses, if not the best defenses in the league. You really don't get why Rui Patricio's. Maybe it's because he saves less, and therefore the few times he saves, he's less confident. Just because the defense is good, so he's just less active. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a confidence. He's national team in the Portuguese. He's not first, but he's been the first goalkeeper in the Portuguese national team. You can say everything about Rui Patricio, but the fact that he doesn't lack experience, um, sorry, that he does lack experience, he has the experience. He's got Premier League experience. He's got international experience. He's got all of that. I think it's just a matter of confidence when it comes to Rui Patricio. Right, let's speak about Matic for a second, and then I am gonna quickly jump onto. Someone's asking about Kluivert. I'm not gonna speak about Kluivert, but you made me remember about something very, very good. So I'm gonna touch on something similar to Kluivert, but let's speak about Matic because Matic apparently has decided to renew his contract. Regarding of whether Mourinho will stay or not, apparently Matic has decided that at the end of the season he will renew his contract. Now, let's remember that his contract was one of those contracts where the presence of games and the appearances he had would automatically trigger the option of a renewal for the second year if he wanted to. And I think, I mean, at least me, because I remember very well saying Matic was not going to start and was not going to be a starting player. I definitely said that because I was not expecting Wijnaldum to get signed, and potentially Dybala too. I was the first one to say Matic was not going to get any game time and that he just came to be a rotational squad depth player. I was wrong. Matic is a fundamental piece to this puzzle. Matic is a key, and you truly can tell Mourinho loves him, and Mourinho just gives him experience and just knows him really well. Because Matic, when he's solid, it's really, really hard to get past him. And the thing about Matic, just similar to El Shaarawy, is that he wants to stay. And I've said this with El Shaarawy last time a few weeks ago. If a player wants to stay, if a player is willing to put the club over everything, that to me means he automatically needs to renew. Because he's shown respect to the environment and to the fan base. Matic came to Rome and he's found himself perfect here. The family loves the city. Every 2 weeks, you see his wife drinking a glass of wine in the city centre of Rome. The wife's the best part of this Matic experience. I think Matic is going to renew his contract because of his wife. Like, yeah, they love going around. I mean, he's got a son. He plays in the academy of Roma. When it comes to that, I think he's loving the experience. He feels like he's a big part of the project. Obviously, if Mourinho stays, I think he'd even be 10 times happier because of the relationship the two have. But look, if he wants to stay, he stays. If he wants to stay, I'm all for giving him a contract extension because he deserves it, to be honest. So yeah, that's the second what we have to speak about Matic. But Flair made me actually recognize something, remember something. Because Flair says, I just suddenly remembered Justin Kluivert. What happened to him? He was such a talented young player. Would like to see him back in Rome. He's in Valencia. Valencia's not doing really well. Speaking of Valencia, they beat Real Sociedad this weekend, which is good. Real Sociedad aren't living a great moment. But yet the bookies say they're favourites in going through. I think it's very, very close. I think the Roma-Real Sociedad tie will be decided by those clutch moments. But yeah, I mean, if you compare the form, we're way better than them. Real Sociedad are not living a great form. But Valencia did beat them, and Valencia are fighting to not get relegated. And Kluivert does play there. However, my discussion was not going to go into Kluivert. Now, probably not, but does everyone here, in fact, does anyone here remember Brian Reynolds? The American, I think he was a right wing, the American the American right wing who played a few games with Mourinho. I mean, he played the Bodo-Glimt game, the 6-1. And that was one of the reasons why we sold him, to be honest with you. He was crap at defending. Like, if there was one player that you could put in that defense and he would always concede a goal, it was him. It was Brian Reynolds. We bought him from Dallas, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, a team like that. Definitely from the American League. But he moved to Belgium on loan. So he's technically still a Roma player. But he's on loan in Belgium. And apparently he's doing really, really well in this Belgian team. In this Belgian side. Which I'm not even sure who they are. Let me quickly check. Brian Reynolds. Is his name even Brian or is it Ryan? That's the thing. Yeah, it's Brian Reynolds. He plays for Westerlo. Westerlo. Which are currently 6th in the Belgian side. Apparently, he's doing really, really well there. And this club is apparently keen on triggering a 7 million clause that would buy him permanently. Getting 7 million from Brian Reynolds would be class. Like, if we can get 7 million from that guy, then we could reinvest those 7 millions in a really good way. No one would have ever thought that anyone would even pay 1 million to sign that guy. And apparently he's doing really, really well in that league, so in that team. So they're willing to have him permanently. And apparently they're thinking about paying 7 million to us, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but 7 million is a lot of money. I mean, it's not drastic amounts, but you add them onto everything, and they could increase. They could be those money which can maybe trigger a big deal this summer. It could be that difference which we're not willing to pay, but if we do pay, then we're in with a great player. So yeah, I mean it's not much, but seeing the way he played and the way he adapted himself in Rome, getting 7 million from that deal is good. That's 100% confirmed. But yeah, right. Let's see what people say. I'll be in Rome in July, maybe I'll see the wife. The American right back, I forgot about him. Yeah, how old is he? Brian Reynolds is 21 years. He's pretty young. Yeah, he's pretty young, to be honest. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that value could even increase. If he plays the end of the season well with this side, maybe they're even willing to offer more money. I don't know. I mean, not that I care. I really forgot about him even, but I was reading some news today and he popped up. So yeah, I just felt like I wanted to share this, but not that we really care. Didn't we pay definitely not 12 million? We paid 10 million. Yeah, you see, look, it's not great because we paid a lot of money for him, but at least we're getting some money back. I mean, I'd rather get 7 million than reintegrate him back in the team. Like, that's for sure. But yeah, look, we're playing tomorrow. Live watch on tomorrow. It's an early kickoff, I believe. Yeah, it is. Let me quickly confirm. Yeah, it is. 6:30 Italian time, 5:30 UK time, wherever you're from. I invite you to set a reminder because we've got a big game tomorrow. Hopefully, it's going to be a Sampdoria masterclass tonight at the Olimpico. I highly doubt it will happen, but who knows? Lazio are not living a great moment. So Sampdoria, especially because Verona are currently losing, that could be a big chance for Sampdoria to get some points for their relegation scrap. But yeah, I mean, look, hopefully Lazio lose. I mean, look, even if they draw, it'd be fine. Even if they win and we win, we'd still be in front of them. But yeah, I wouldn't mind with a good old Sampdoria cheeky upset. So yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for the live watch along. If you haven't already, I invite you to smash the like button in this live stream. Before leaving the stream, please take 2 seconds to smash the like button. It's free of cost, takes 2 seconds, and it supports me a lot. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Share the link of my channel with your families and friends. Set a reminder. live watch along tomorrow, and click the bell notification button so you will be notified every time I go live or post a video. And also, as I said at the start, thank you for your global giving to support this live stream. And if you want to donate to the Turkish and Syrian earthquake, feel free to click the first link in the description below or scan the QR code right there. No, there, in front of me. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Simon, out.